Hey guys, what is going on? So I wanted to talk about my recent implementation of Naringin as well as my recent weight gain. So in a previous video, I talked about how the Gorilla Mind PM fat burner has Naringin in it, which is supposed to help with oral bioavailability of certain supplements. They can be, drugs that you take, so it can actually be detrimental depending on what you're taking. And some people do it for orals as well. So Vigorous Steve made the video. I talked about that. You can go check that out. But anyway, I started to, use that PM fat burner. I got it the day after I ordered it. Crazy fast shipping from Gorilla Mind. And I also ordered from Bulk Supplements, Naringin in powder form, and that came pretty shortly thereafter. And so I've been doing both, and I've basically been weighing in. I've been pretty consistently prior to this around 230, give or take, and I have been around 233 the past couple days. And I try and stay consistent with when I intake my water and carbs and stuff like that, and do the best I can. So I'm not saying that this couldn't just be water weight, but it is interesting how when I first started to take 6 capsules per day and I spaced them out throughout the day, I noticed an immediate increase in my weight, like something that you would not expect. And then as soon as I started to implement Naringin, then the same thing happened. So what I'm doing in terms of dosages, based on the milligrams of terkestrone that I'm taking, I don't know if that is an effective dosage. Now, it is like 500 milligrams, but then it's like, okay, what percentage is it? So I don't know if the Naringin that I'm taking is effective in terms of, should I be taking more or less? But I do think that the dosage that I've been taking, which has just been the recommended dose, except I'm splitting it up throughout the day. So I'm doing more dosages as well as I'm taking the fat burners. That seems to have had an immediate impact on my weight gain. I don't feel like it's fat. In fact, I think as I've been taking the fat burners, it almost seems like I am getting, a little bit of a body recomp going on. So I'm not saying I'm losing fat. I'm not saying that I'm gaining muscle. I'm just saying I've added about 3 pounds here pretty quickly. And again, I think that is what happened when I started to do 6 different dosages, split up throughout the day when I started to do that with terkestrone. So 233 is what I've been hanging around. We're getting pretty dang close to my all-time high weight ever. And back then I was the fattest I'd ever been, and it was very obvious. You could see it in my face. You could see it, on my body and everything like that. And I knew, because I had the naked body scanner, I was looking at the body scans and I wasn't gaining muscle at all. So I knew that as soon as I got to 240, I just had a goal. I wanted to become obese, because technically 240 is obese at my height. Then I drop back down. So I'm fast approaching 240, and I feel like I'm in pretty good shape. I feel like I'm definitely a lot leaner than I was back then. And that was my previous all-time high in terms of lean body mass. So I still have a way to go in terms of getting to that weight, but I'm already, at least around 3 pounds heavier in terms of lean body mass than I was back then. So it seems like a lot of things are working now. Again, I don't want to update and be like every weight fluctuation is muscle gained or whatever, but it does seem like for those of you who have terkestrone right now and you're thinking about potentially doing Naringin, it does seem like adding, the Gorilla Mind's PM fat burner, or if you want to do AM, I suppose you could do that as well. That did seem to help, or at the very least, the combination of the bulk supplements, Naringin, and the stuff that's in, the Gorilla Mind products. So I don't know how accurate that is, but I just want to throw that update up there for you guys. It does seem like I've been gaining muscle recently, after kind of being stagnant at 230 for quite some time. So it seems like that has effectively boosted, the performance of the terkestrone. That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting, but I still have a long way to go, and I don't want to draw any conclusions yet, but it does look promising thus far, and I just wanted to show that. Other than that, in terms of me in the gym, today I did a leg day for the first time since I messed up my back, and everything went smooth. So I don't know if I'm going to start getting crazy back pains, but my back has been fine the past couple of days. I decided, I can probably go and do legs again. I did squats. I didn't do deadlifts, obviously. Squats went well, and I actually, I did a set of 20, which is something that I used to do when I was trying to put, mass on my legs. And I did 275 for 20, and it was actually not that hard. I mean, obviously it was a hard set just because it was 20 reps. But, I felt like I could have done more weight. And my legs were basically like shaking the rest of the workout. So I feel like my, leg strength is coming back. I feel like potentially I could add even a little bit more muscle now that I'm implementing, leg workouts again, because it's been a while since I've been able to do legs. So it seems like things are going well. I've also been doing like AMRAPs with bench press, and I'm hitting PRs on my AMRAPs, even though I haven't been doing them all that much. And usually for me, I get better at things as I do them more, right? So if I do AMRAPs a lot, then I get really good at AMRAPs. If I do low rep stuff, I get really good at low rep stuff. So currently I'm not training for strength. And the fact that I'm hitting PRs with AMRAPs, even though I've only recently started to implement them, makes me think that if I were to really start doing them a little bit more, I could hit, I'm already hitting PRs on them. So that's crazy to see that. And then if I started to do them more, I could potentially make even more PR gains in that regard. And I don't know about my 1 rep max. It's probably going to be a long time before I test like bench press 1 rep max, just because I'm not training for that. And I doubt that I would be able to hit a 1 rep max like 10 pounds more than I have ever done, even though I haven't been training for it at all. But that is something that, like I said, towards the end of my Trachesterone experiments, I do plan to ramp up the amount of strength training work that I do as opposed to muscle gain stuff. But I'm a firm believer that training for muscle and training for strength, especially when you're more advanced, are two different things. And whilst there can be some correlation there, I don't believe that is causation. And I have found that building up my bench really doesn't do anything for the body parts it's supposed to. But when I do specifically bodybuilding type stuff, then it does. That's what I've noticed. That kind of seems to be backed by, certain studies, and, people have their opinions on that. That is my opinion. There's evidence to support that. And that's what I've found in my own body. And so therefore I'm trying to maximize my muscle gains, and I'm not doing super heavy stuff. But again, I do plan to in the future, and I think I will be hitting PRs. But the fact that I'm hitting PRs and AMRAPs, my legs feel like they're getting back to the strongest they've ever been, even after this break. Things seem to be going really well, and hopefully I can continue to gain some muscle because I'm not even halfway done with my Turk yet. So anyway, that's all I got to say about that. I'll keep you updated, and I'll talk to you soon.